Well, hello and Satnam, welcome. Nice to have you here. Just about to get started and grab your mat, grab your pillow. I want to tell you a few stories. I want to share some personal information about who I am and how I came to be here. My name is Salima, by the way, yoga therapist. And here's some truth that you may not have been able to access or to learn about in this format in the world of YouTube. So I want to tell you a little story, and the story is how a little girl came out at age 4. That was me, and at age 4, I had this very profound awakening, and the awakening was partly around sexuality and partly around spirituality, and it was a time where I felt that I woke up. I had this story that came through, and the story was, Salima, if you want to spread the knowledge, that particularly here on YouTube with all of you, planting seeds of acceptance and of wisdom and understanding, of inclusion, acceptance, of peace and love. And that story, my story, wouldn't be the same if I didn't come from this experience of knowing about my sexuality at a very, very young age. So I want to share this with you because it's who I am. And I think now is a very important time. There is a lot going on in the world around Black Lives Matter, people of color standing up, standing together. And this is Pride Month. And this is a time where people who identify in the queer community, the LGBTQ, 2S, QQ, IA plus community come together. So, what do all of those letters mean? It's important to acknowledge all of the complexity of human sexuality. And so, here, let me go through that so that you have an understanding of what it means. And so, when you see it, you don't feel overwhelmed, but rather you know this is an opportunity to embrace not only the people around you, but also for you to embrace your own self, because inclusive language really matters. L for lesbian, women who love women. Gay, generally speaking, men who love men. Bisexual, for men and women who love men and women. Trans, transgendered, and transgendered could mean identifying with another body form. So male to female or female to male, or an intermingling in and of that. Recognizing that the spectrum of not only sexuality but also gender expression is very fluid, and that there is not just one or the other, there is a wide variety. 2S, acknowledging the Aboriginal, Indigenous, First Nations community, where two-spirited meant that two bodies or two genders coming together. Again, it could be more than two, but 2S is how we identify it now. Q for queer, identifying all of that, and sometimes that's a word I like to use because it embraces all. Q can also stand for questioning. Who am I? What am I? How do I express? Who am I attracted to? What am I attracted to? These you may ask any time in your life, maybe as a young person, maybe as you move through your life and you realize that what you have been doing is not really what you're drawn to anymore. So that's Q for questioning. Intersex, being born with genitalia of multiple expressions. Asexual, meaning not sexual. And then the A plus sign for A, and maybe those that are along that spectrum or in addition to that spectrum. So that's the LGBT, QSQQIA plus community. And that's really an education in inclusive language. So, what I wanted to really talk about today is to share my story coming out at age 4, coming out as a lesbian. That's who I am, I identify. That's how I show up in the world. Whether you could see it or not, whether people see it or not, that's not besides the point. It's how I show up in the world and how I want to be free to express who I am. And again, really important at this time, because not only are we talking now about the intersection, the coming together of lots of different identities, but I also want to add to the mix here spirituality. So, over the course of the conversations that a lot of people have been having about being inclusive and open and themselves, we're missing this about spirituality. And how does that fit in? Not religion and not how religion fits in, but rather what's our connection to what's bigger? What is our creative force saying about all of this? And that intersectionality is important because there are so many of us who embrace that wide spectrum, who fall into the wide spectrum of all of those identities, of, of skin color, of nationality, of all of these things that have been used against us, I would say, but rather to embrace all and to sit at the table together and share ideas. This is very important. This is very important in the context of yoga, because yoga is about love, and it is about acceptance, and it is about connecting, and it is about spirituality and the physical body and the heart and the mind, and how we show up to the mat with all of this. I would say that yoga has been my saving grace. Kundalini Yoga in particular has been a way to connect, has been a way of healing, of being safe, and knowing who I am and how I am, and then having the nervous system and the courage to express that, to share openly and honestly, and ask people to step forward in that same way. I firmly believe that when I'm open and honest, my Satnam, then you have the possibility to be open and honest, your Satnam. We don't have to agree, we don't even have to like each other, we have to be real, realness. If you're looking for me on Instagram, you'll find me under realness108. So part of what I've heard over the course of time is, oh, nobody would choose to be gay. Nobody would choose to be black or brown. Nobody would choose these things. And the yogic sciences disagree. And I'm in that place of disagreeing as well. The yogic science say we all chose to be here in these bodies, in these sexualities, in these countries, with these parents. And all of those things mean that we had choice, and we came to express, we came to love, to be free in those expressions. So it's not a matter of not choosing, it is a matter of choosing. We didn't choose the hatred that comes our way. What we did choose is to love each other and support each other and be a circle of connection in and around each other. In this year, 2020, there are no pride marches because of the state of us as queer people, as lesbian and gay and bisexual and trans and two-spirit and queer and questioning and intersex and asexual and everyone. It is our time to stand up for what is important, and that is acceptance and a willingness to have uncomfortable conversations and be open to learning. And that is why this channel exists, because there's a yoga for everyone. And there's a spirit and a mind that everybody needs to express. And this is how we do it with Kundalini Yoga. That's a big piece of truth. And from my heart to yours, I hope that you can hear that in the state of yoga and how you come to the mat. And that being together here in the state of spirituality and connection, that you embrace as best you can, not only the people around you, your family members, not just that it's okay, but that it's important that people express, and that it's important that you express, whether you fall on the spectrum of pride or not, that you hold that that's everyone having safety to be clear in who they are. So with that, I'm to open our program today. And there's one more thing. By the way, I'm a mom. My son is 4, same age he was. So as a mom, I want to say to you that if your mom doesn't accept you, I do. And I love you just the way you are, because that's what mothers should do. Okay. I want you to know that you are loved. All right, my friends. Today we're focusing on belonging. Belonging to oneness, belonging to yourself, and belonging to each other. So here we'll use a call and response to summon that energy, to belong ourselves, to the oneness, to each other. And we'll do, you get comfortable, sit on your mat, and let's begin. Grab your cushion, grab your pillow, grab whatever you need comfortably here. Take a few long, deep breaths here. Everything that we're going to do today is about keeping yourself in connection and giving you the tools and techniques that you need to walk safely through your life and whatever is coming up for you now. Sitting up tall and straight, lean up against your spine, press your palms to the center of your chest. Close your eyes, focus in between the eyebrows and slightly above. Take 3 short sniffs and then pow. So imagine whatever has come up in front of you, imagine whatever way that you struggle to express yourself in this time and place in your life, however way you've struggled. Let's blow that out of the way now. Inhale 3 sniffs and a pow. Beautiful. Everything out of the way, everything clear. Sit up tall and straight, press your palms together. We tune in now with the Adi mantra. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the teacher within. I call on my highest consciousness. Inhale very deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale, let's tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Last one. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Feel yourself calling out to the universe. Feel the universe responding to your call. I am awake, alert, and aware of who you are and how you are. You are loved. Relax your hands down. Let's begin with spinal flex. Hands are on the knees for this spinal flex. We're targeting the upper part of the back now. Inhale, come forward. Exhale all the way to the back. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale to the back. I'm just reaching here for my timer so I can keep us grounded in time and space. Inhaling as you come forward. Exhaling as you go back. Spinal flex. Close your eyes. Inhaling mentally the sound of Sat, the truth. Nam, as you roll back. Nam is your name. Sat Nam. Inhale very deeply, come to center, and start to roll your shoulders out. Whatever tension has crept up into your shoulders now, whether it was the hearing of a story that you were unexpecting today, or maybe it's your own story. If any of this resonated for you, drop me a comment below. Let me know you're listening. Let me know that you have positive experiences to share about your coming out story. Share who you are and how you love your friends and family who stand a little bit outside of where you're. Be open, be accepting. Drop me a comment below. Let me know how you do that and that you do that, because that's what this channel is for, a safe space to explore. Inhale very deeply, bring the shoulders all the way up, and exhale. Softly roll the shoulders back and down. Bring your right arm all the way up. Bring your hand behind your neck, so palm is against the back of your body, and then a small tilt backwards. Take 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Move to the opposite side. Lift the shoulder, lift the elbow all the way up. Shoulder is relaxed. Bring your 4 fingers against your elbow. Gently push here, just allowing this muscle to stretch. Take 3 breaths as you gently push against your elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale very deeply. And exhale. Relax your hand down. Sitting back a little bit on that you're comfortable. We're doing butterfly now. This is a very simple to prepare for postures. So butterfly, flapping the knees up and down, spine is straight, shoulders are relaxed. In the background, I'm shooting from my home space, and these are my plants, Sunny and Money, and some artwork behind me made by an old friend. And here is an opportunity for us to share a little bit more of our lives. Otherwise, you wouldn't see my room. And at the same time, public and political. In Canada, there was a very famous statement made by a former prime minister, our equivalent to president. And he said that the law doesn't belong in the bedrooms of Canadians. And that was very powerful to say many years back, decades ago. And those are the roots of Canadian openness towards embracing sexuality. I wouldn't say that's everybody, I wouldn't say that's all, but it is, in general scheme of things, a safer place to live than many. And so from that place of privilege, I'm speaking out. I know that it's important. There's so many of my brothers and sisters and people who are humans who are living in places where it's not safe to make these statements. And so I claim that space now. That we be allies together. Release your legs. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Let your breath connect you to oneness, to all that is. Let our practice now connect you to who you are, that you belong to yourself. Let's begin now. Extend the arms all the way out. Fingers are wide apart, and start to circle your hands backwards. If you know Breath of Fire, you can begin now. I'm going to talk for just a few more minutes so you can continue with long, deep breathing, and then I'll walk you. In or menstruating, please go with your arm circles. Keep your breath long and deep. And if you have a little bit more on offer, you can add on by doing panting like a dog. This is the step up into breath of fire, and it goes like this. You stick your tongue out and begin, just as it sounds, panting like a dog. Continue that, and if you can stay right there. If you have a little bit more on offer, or you're familiar with the practice of breath of fire, continue circling your arms. This should be hurting just about now. And continue that breath and bring your lips together. So the tongue is not out, it's in. And you begin. So let's go again. Good, and continue to circle. If those two breathing practices were a little bit too much for today, not a big deal. You can come back to your long, deep breathing and continue on with these arm circles. Maybe your arms are not able to keep up with these big arm circles, and maybe you want to bring them in a little bit so your elbows are bent and you're starting to circle, still circling the shoulders, but you're doing it in a smaller and more contained way. We're not here for too much longer. Today we're working on the aura. Your aura extends 9 feet in all directions around you. So being safe, being contained, means that the electromagnetic field around you stays solid. And that's what we're working on right now. So your physical safety, your mental and emotional safety are here. Take a deep inhale, stretch your arms all the way out. And exhale, bring your hands to your shoulders and just hold here. Feel grounded. Feel the energy of your fingers right into your heart. Relax your shoulders. Take a few breaths. Last one, inhale. Exhale, relax your hands all the way down to the ground. And you can feel this running through you. I call this the ginger ale moment. So everything's a little bubbly inside. You may have a different word to describe it, but that's the sensation that I get. Everything's become a little rejuvenated. There's a little thing all the way through, and that's from my practice, a healing and a way of opening. We're moving now to sitting in a kneeling position. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Kneeling position, right down onto your knees and onto your heels. Here, interlace the fingers and bring this mudra behind your back. Rest the arms on your lower back. And then I'll describe it first and then we'll begin the practice together. Lower your head as far down to the ground. Place it next to your knees, right in front of your knees, so you have a soft landing spot for your forehead. And then in 3 breaths, I'm just going to move up so you can see. 3 breaths, inhale, 3 inhales, bring the arms up. So that's what it looks like. And depending on your camera lens and what you can see here in the frame that I've set up, you can start the practice. So bring your forehead down to the ground. Arms are down on your back. Take 3 breaths. Release. 3 breaths. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Position. Good. And then lower yours down to the back of your body. Taking a few long, deep breaths here. Swing yourself back up into rock pose, so sitting on your knees and on your heels. And you can cushion your knees with a blanket if you need that. You can also take cross-legged if that feels better. Here are similar breathing patterns, so inhaling in 3 sniffs. This time the arms are pointed downwards towards the knees, not on the knees, but pointed towards the knees. Inhale, back to center. Inhale. So 3 sniffs. Inhale. Last round. Good, and release. Close your eyes, be here completely. Feel sensation in your body. Notice how you started and where you are now. And come back to cross-legged position. Here's the last part of our Kriya. Press the palms together at the center of your chest. Close your eyes, press firmly here, and then your thumbs are pressed into the bone of your chest. Close your eyes. And then 4 sniffs. Inhale, sa, ta, na, ma. The same on the exhalation. Inhale 4 sniffs with the mantra mentally, sa, ta, na, ma. Exhaling mentally 4 sniffs, sa, ta, na, ma. Inhaling, exhaling. Continue. I'll chant the mantra, you keep the breath going. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Inhale 4 sniffs. Sa, ta, na, ma. Exhaling 4 sniffs. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Last round. Inhaling. Sa, ta, na, ma. Exhaling. Sa, ta, na, ma. Keep your hands here. Relax for a moment. Lean up against your spine. Relax your shoulders down. Lower your elbows. Be here. Stay in your own sweet self. We belong to each other in these moments where we sit quietly, where we tune into the energy of all around us, whether it's in your home and people are preparing their meals or taking their day and coming back and forth, or you're connecting now to a global community where we sit in reverence for ourselves and to each other in our sacredness. Keep the hands where they are. Our final motion now. Point the fingers slightly away. Maybe it's the camera in front of you. Fold down your index fingers. Fold down your middle fingers. Fold down your baby fingers. And cross the thumbs over each other. The mudra has just the ring fingers extended. Here we chant Ong, O-N-G. It's a nasal sound for absolutely powerful energy. We chant that together, however way, wherever you are. We envelop and call to each other a sacred and powerful sound current of Ong, O-N-G. Inhale deeply. Om. Om. Two more. You belong, you matter. Let's complete our practice with a long Sat short Nam. Inhale very deeply. Sat Nam. Please ground yourself, bring your forehead and your palms to the ground, closing off our practice and our time together. Sat Nam. My name is Salima, yoga therapist, and it's a pleasure and an honor always to be with you. There are enlightened groups all over who can embrace your rainbow identity. Take a look at Rainbow Sangat, S-A-N-G-A-T, on Facebook. It is a group of Kundalini Yoga teachers and practitioners who belong to the Rainbow Alliance, so the LGBTQ, 2SLGBTQ communities. You'll find representation there and a safer space to practice if that's the community that you're looking for. And if you just need a friend or someone to hear you, someone to come out to, someone to hold your hand, a mom, you're welcome to email me. My name is Salima. I'm a yoga therapist, and my email address is love.yogavision@gmail.com. I've been out now for almost 45 years, at times where it wasn't always safe to do that. And I can tell you from my own experience, it gets better and better and better. Sat Nam.